I think like the best way to approach society is kind of like from the perspective of I mean, everyone throws the word the Matrix around, and I'm sure the Wachowski brothers, or they're women now anyway, so the Wachowskis would be, or they say they're women, would be very happy with, you know, they've been proven right about society. But essentially, you have so many people that are so plugged into. When we say the Matrix, we don't mean it as like, yes, it's possible that it's some sort of like AI interface, you know, brain in a vat system, but we can't prove that. There's no way to prove that. Although we have things like deja vu, coincidences, synchronicities that can make us go, astral projection, so on and so forth, that make us recognize that yes, there's the possibility of an external world outside of this world. But the actual point is, even on a micro level, people are so plugged into the system and its rules and its norms and its value systems and its everything, right? You know, and if you go back to school, like if you go back to your mind and go back to when you were in school was just a breeding ground or sort of like a preparation ground for the real Matrix. You know, you have to listen to what the teacher says. You have to spend all your, you know, your usable hours and, you know, in learning crap that you don't really need or will never ever use. If you're a rebel, you get in trouble. If you ask too many questions, you'll be in trouble. If you don't listen to what the teacher says, you'll be in trouble. Like any independent thought, you'll be in trouble. You know, if you do a task, even if you get it right and you do it your own creative way, it's wrong. And I'll never forget this. When I was in school, I was really, really bright, and I don't say this in a sort of like braggy way at all. I was probably the best kid, like if not probably top 5. You know, top 5 in my year for you know, intelligence. But at the same time, I think I was also top 3 in terms of being a rebel, but or probably even top 1 for being a rebel. I was that kid, and I remember this so clearly. We were given a task. This is probably, I can't remember how I was young. It's one of my first memories of the system and the injustice of the system. So, you know, we used to get given these tasks where there'll be a word, but like you'd have spaces, like a dash, then a letter, then a letter, then a dash, and then a letter, and then you're supposed to fill it in. And in this case, I did all of them and I couldn't figure out this one. And it was dash N dash M dash L, right? And I sat down, I was racking my brain. I couldn't figure it out. It was animal, yeah? But then I'd heard this word being thrown around in my household, enamel, which is ENAMEL, right? Which is the, you know, on your teeth. And I said, oh yeah, so I'll put that in there. And I went to school and I was given 9/10, or, you know, for the task, 90%. And I was like, why? And the teacher said the right word was animal. And I remember looking at her and thinking, but animal's not the only word that can fill this space. So why is it wrong? And because I hadn't chosen the specific word for that thing, I was marked down. That's exactly how the system works. Do you understand? So it's like school is a breeding ground for stifling any type of independent thought or any type of intellect, any type of creativity, right? Creativity has to fit a certain mold, you know, and that's the beginning of the Matrix. So if you want to really understand the Matrix, go back to school. Look at how schools operate. And now if we look at schools are being, you know, they're teaching kids to be dumber. You know, kids are super dumb now. Like if you don't spend time teaching your kids like actual things, forget it. Your kids will be ill-equipped in the world that's coming. But in fact, they don't even need the tools, because the world that's coming is a world they wouldn't even need it, because the world that's coming, they're breeding them to be solely dependent on the system, you know. everything's a tablet, everything's a computer, everything's a this, everything's a that, you know. Even if you're shit, even if you're rubbish, even if you're unfit, even if you're not the best, it's still okay. You still get a medal for participation, you know. Ego, just rubbish, really. And that's what you're teaching the kids. The kids don't strive for anything. There's no excellence in striving anymore, you know. There's no excellence in being the most physically able kid, because you know that kid will get a nice medal on sports day, and that will encourage him to go a certain way or whatever. All of that is gone, right? So you have to bear in mind that in terms of physicality, bravery, pure intellect, creativity, all that shit is gone. You know, these kids sit down and watch programs on laptops and computers all day long. You know, they don't even do any kind of creative work. And the schools are now pandering to, excuse my language, but it's true, to the dumb kids, right? So the disruptive dumb children are the ones that get all the teachers' attention, and the kids that are actually intelligent at the forefront of the class, that should be getting all the resources, all the teachers' attention, so they can be pushed to the next level, aren't actually getting it. So it's like an inversion of the reality, right? It's totally crazy to me, man. It's totally crazy. And if we go back to the school analogy, right, you have to kind of operate like you're back in school. So the goody two shoes that oh yeah, I'll tell teacher that they weren't the cool kids. Nobody gave a fuck about them. They were just we just knew that they were just yeah, oh yeah, whatever. You're just if it weren't for the teacher, you'd be nobody. Really, in our own society that we have created outside of the school system, you don't matter, right? And that's the world we have to create once again. The rebels, the creatives, the intellectuals, the question askers, you know, the questioners, you know, the brave ones. We should create our own world and say, fuck this shit. Do you know what I mean? That's what we should do. That's what we really, really should do. You know? Your teacher doesn't have the answers. They literally don't. How is somebody that's got no money going to teach me how to make money? How? And all the money I've made it through being creative. I haven't made it through the school system or the dog shit that the school system taught us. You know, you need to literally snap out of it. Anyway, yeah, schools can't teach us shit. You know, it's all rubbish. I've got a video on my channel talking about why I don't believe that the slavery system didn't happen the way they said it happened. It's an ideology just to control people's minds, you know, to convince people that white people were able to subjugate Africans because of their superior brains and stuff. Okay, but it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense, you know. How comes white people are the only, they're the ones that are telling the story, white people. So they've told the stories in ways that always make them look good. But if you look around the world, religion, culture, language, medicine, you know, all these great things that have been built historically were built by people that are not white. Who built the Great Wall of China? Not white people. The pyramids? Not white people. Machu Picchu? Not white people. Chichen Itza? Not white people. The Nazca lines? Not white people. Do you understand? But then they'll come and show us shit like the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that. These are new things. New things. You know, they claim everything for themselves. But then, whilst we're in the game in 2023, you look around and you think to yourself, surely it weren't your great-grandfathers that built this stuff, because some of you guys are actually barbaric. You know what I mean? And it's I know people are gonna take this the wrong way, but I don't really give a fuck. But it's true because, yeah, it's just facts anyway. It's just facts. It's just facts.